I know there are lots of people online promising you the world, promising you millions overnight, a Lamborghini next week, the rest of it. You've heard it, you've seen it. And frankly, most of it is bullshit. And most of the people that are making these videos and talking about this are actually making money from the videos that they're making, not the thing that they're talking about in the videos that they're making. If that makes sense. So I'm not going to make this video with that intention. Yes, I make money from selling people sales, but I also actually make money from the thing that I'm talking to you about. And I'm not going to promise you millions overnight. I'm not going to promise you a Lamborghini next week because I don't have one. And I don't know how to get one yet. Remember that. I'm making this for, honestly, a previous version of myself. Broke, fed up, overworked, underpaid, tired, frustrated, everything. Working multiple jobs, trying to support a family, struggling day in, day out. Dealing with recovery, dealing with trying to live a healthy life, dealing with trying to fit the social pressures of being a man and the provider and all these things, and then having to go and put more effort in day to day that takes away from my ability to be a provider in other ways. So I'm making this video for that version of me, and hopefully if this resonates with you, you'll want to watch it. And the reason it's called the laziest way to make money in 2026 is because it's quite a lazy way to make money in 2026. Being lazy isn't bad. Being lazy means you're efficient. Being lazy means you find ways of doing something quicker and more efficiently than someone who doesn't. You optimize for outcomes and results. You don't optimize for inputs and your self-worth being attached to how many hours you work. Because that's not what gets you money. Value and outcomes get you money, get you income. And this lazy way made me over 100 grand in the last 3 months. And yes, some of that is from owning a business that provides services to other businesses. But if I didn't have the skill in which I originally had, I wouldn't be able to take those steps. So I still attribute that income to this skill, the thing I'm going to talk about today. Now, I'm not going to start throwing up Stripe screenshots of revenue from businesses and stuff like that. I'm going to show you how I earned between £15,000 and £20,000 per month personal income. And that doesn't mean paying staff, marketing, ads, social media, any of that. That means £15,000 to £20,000 landed in my personal bank account every single month. The only cost that was associated to that money was the tax I had to pay on it. So when I say the numbers that I'm going to say, they're not revenue with a 20% profit margin and I'm fucking eating beans for my tea. That's based on numbers that I have personally earned in this space doing this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edge you before telling you about what this is. So let me run through some other options that you've probably seen online and probably considered before. Maybe you've tried them before. So we've got drop shipping. It's done, right? It's not 2016 or wherever it started. I'm not Iman Gadzhi. I'm not going to tell you how to sell watches that are bought from China and you're going to sell them in the UK for a 6 million% profit margin. There is an insane amount of competition in this space, and the people that are doing well have monopolized it and built systems where you're going to get eaten alive unless you pay one of these guys to do it for you. Like my dad nearly did. Funny story. He called me a few weeks ago and he wanted to do a drop shipping. It wasn't even a course. It was a business that did it all for you and took a percentage of your profit once you started becoming profitable. But the only catch was that you had to pay 10 grand to start. And I was like, well, why wouldn't they just sell the products that they're going to sell in your store for them? And it all came crumbling down and it was a big load of bullshit. So they're the people that you're going to have to pay and work with to be able to take advantage of this space because they've got that much infrastructure built already. So drop shipping is difficult. Building software. Cool. You can build an app. You can build a SaaS product, software as a service. Yeah, you could. Do you know how to code? Do you know developers who know how to code? Do you have the capital to invest into those developers if you do know the developers? This is a very difficult place to start it's a good place to go to after. If you can find a skill, learn it, become good at it, and then make it an efficient thing for other people to learn, then absolutely, that's great, but it's not the starting thing. Affiliate marketing or UGC, stuff like that, you're getting a very small percentage of the small percentage they're getting. With businesses that use affiliate marketing, their margins are already pretty thin. Most things product-based probably are. And then you're getting a percentage of the percentage that they're getting. So let's say they run on a 25% profit margin and you get a 2% commission on each sale. You're actually getting numbers so small that I don't have the mental maths to figure it out. And then you've got courses. You can be a course bro like me. But yes, and trust me, this is not the first thing to start with. This is the thing that even I consider sometimes to be, why don't I just go back to sales? Because you get a lot of shit for this. And the funny thing is, a lot of the people doing courses don't actually have the skills of the course that they're selling. So I justify it to myself because I actually have the skill of the course that I sell. You need something first. And then I guess we've got crypto. And I just don't want to talk about this one. I can't talk about this without cringing and folding in half. It's literally gambling. That's all it is. So please don't go down the crypto route. So what all of these have in common is that they require either a lot of capital, a lot of luck, or a lot of time to build. Maybe even all three. Now, the thing that we're going to talk about, which is remote sales, require none of these. What it requires is a skill. And skills can be taught, skills can be learned, and it's a skill that you probably already use in your day-to-day job. You just don't call it sales. So I'm going to go over the framework. And I call it lazy, not because it requires no work. It definitely requires work. But because once you understand it and once you have the skill, the work you do compounds and increases your return for the same amount of input. Unlike in a normal day-to-day job, you are penalized for being better than someone else. If you're the guy that's good at the job, or the girl, you get given the responsibility, but you don't get paid more. In sales, if you do better, you're incentivized because you get paid much more. And one of the biggest things, because I've talked to over 7,500 people growing my business about them wanting to earn more money. And the biggest thing that I see is that people try and learn everything. They try and learn copywriting, they try and learn sales, they try and learn trading, they try and learn social media, editing, they try and learn all these things and then amalgamate some bullshit offer that they can't do anything with, right? Remote sales encapsulates everything in business. If a business doesn't have a sales department or doesn't have something to sell, whether it's service or product, they aren't a business. Even non-profits, it's in the name. They don't profit, but they still fucking sell. They still sell something. So the difference with learning sales is that it is applicable across everything. The skill of sales has taught me copywriting. Copywriting is sales. Marketing is sales. Social media is sales. If you can learn the foundational understanding, which is sales, you're going to then have so many more options that follow from that. Opens a lot of doors. Step 2, thinking that you need experience. You can get a job like this without experience. You think that you need a full CV stacked to the rims full of sales, sales, sales. What we do with our company and how we help people is we take what experience they do have in the real world on Civvy Street and we take out skills that they have, stuff that they've done in their careers, and reframe it into a sales perspective. So I give the examples of if you're in retail right now, you have something called DWD, which is dealing with dickheads. You deal with dickheads all day. Sales is dealing with dickheads. If you're in hospitality, you have to create rapport in seconds. You have to make someone have a good evening in a restaurant or a pub or whatever. That's sales. You are selling them a good time. Not in that way. Happy endings. Not here. If you're a personal trainer or you're a coach, you sell your service every single day. You sell people on becoming the best version of themselves. You sell them to continue coming to the sessions and trying hard. You sell them on the idea of them being the best version of themselves. You're always selling. So no matter what industry you're in, tradie, if you're a tradie, you're pricing, quoting, customer facing all day, you're selling, selling, selling. All these industries that you might be in, even a 9 to 5, Like, you showing up to work, you put on your work you mask, that's sales, because you're selling someone on the idea of who you are in that position. So when businesses are hiring, because I've been a hiring manager for businesses, and I can say this firsthand, I don't care about how much cash you've collected in your sales jobs. I don't care about how many closing jobs you've had and how long you've been in an appointment set. I could not give a shit. I care about how you show up in your Loom video, in your interview, in your application, what your background looks like. Mine's a bit of a mess. How you present yourself, and whether I believe that you're a hard worker. And then I give you an opportunity. If I give you an opportunity and you work really hard, don't matter what experience you've got. Now, step 3. This is something that once you've got a sales job, becomes very tempting, and I tell people to avoid. So you'll hear a lot of advice from people saying, why don't you just add another job on top? So with sales, because you can, in theory, work 3 jobs at once, because you're in control of your time zones, you can work multiple jobs. People think, oh, if I work another job, I can then earn double the amount of commission and therefore earn double the amount of wages. Cool. And it makes sense, right? I personally have found, again, I've done both. I've worked multiple and I've worked one. I've always opted for the working the one, because if I can become even more valuable to that business, 2 things are going to happen. 1, all the good traffic and the good leads and everything is going to be sent to me, because they want me to close the deal, because they trust me and they want me to earn a lot from the position, and it's going to benefit me. But 2, I have negotiation. I can say, look, I've been with you a year, I've influenced this much revenue, can we bump up my commission a little bit? You might be given more responsibility and actually incentivized to do it and earn a little bit more doing it. You get looked after, you get flown over the world, you get taken out for big fancy meals. I think becoming integral in one business is a cool thing as well. Like, you can affect the growth of the business, and if you're anything like me and you want to build something cool, it's a good thing to do. Now, there's a big difference between someone who earns, let's say, £150 a day doing this and £500+ per day. And that is constantly trying to improve. Now, that might sound obvious. There's a very famous quote from, I think, Albert Einstein that says, insanity is the act of doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. So a lot of salespeople will continue with the same sales process, not try and iterate anything, not try and change anything, not try and improve the script that they're saying, not try and improve the tonality or do any reviews on calls, and then suddenly expect that they're going to earn triple the amount, which is insanity. Like anything, you go through a learning phase, and even now, I'm going through learning. I'm always learning, I'm always developing, I'm always trying to get better. But the intention is to always try and get better. So I review my own calls. I ask people to review my calls. And when I do this, I don't try and change everything at once. I change one thing at a time. So it might be the first 5 seconds of a call. It might be how I said a certain question. It might be how I said the price. It might be how I dealt with that objection. I work with one thing and I do as many reps of that one thing for 1 week, until I then come back to it, look at it again and go, yeah, I've improved that, move on to the next thing. One thing at a time, always. Okay, now I'm going to go over some stuff that I see a lot of newbie salespeople try and do, which I'm going to tell you not to do, and I'm going to save you some time. So, cold outreach to random companies, you're just going to piss them off. Like, I get very pissed off when I get multiple messages from someone, hey, I'm an appointment setter, I can get you more leads. Or, hey, I see a hole in your sales process, let me fill that with my... Yeah. They can't even spell my name, some of them. Or it's so clearly copy and pasted that they don't even use my name. Or it's just fucking lazy and it's just mass and it's so obvious. Now, sales, unfortunately, is a very much who you know industry. So if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, you're much more likely to get considered for a role, or at least a conversation, if you're in that position. So this isn't some snarky plug. Find other ones if you want. But I'd suggest being part of a sales community, because the businesses, if they imagine you fucking scrolling on Indeed and then there's a job that says, hey, you can earn 20 grand a month, just apply here. They're going to get thousands of applications that they can't be asked to sift through. So with these roles, because the businesses that are hiring want proper applications, they're going to put it into sales communities first, or they're going to ask sales managers first. And if you're not in those circles, you're not rubbing shoulders with those people, you're going to struggle to find a role. So being part of a sales community is going to be a massive advantage there. There's one in the description. Another thing that I see is people trying to jump straight into closing. Like, yeah, in theory you could, but I want you to be an appointment setter first. I want you to learn the sales process. It's like when people try and be a personal trainer online without being a personal trainer in person first. Just a bit of a fake, aren't you? Just a bit of a dickhead. Try and like work your way up, earn your stripes, do the hard stuff first, learn the sales process, understand it, get good at it, and then develop. And finally, thinking that you need to be the next salesperson influencer, building a brand, audience, newsletter, all that shit. Just work, man. Just get your head down, get into a business, try and influence their growth. Other stuff will come up when it comes up. Take one step at a time. But realistically, I love this industry because at the peak of my sales career, I was working 3-4 hours a day from a beach in Vietnam. I'd get up, I'd go to the gym, I'd drink a coconut, I'd then put my headphones on, I'd crack on, I'd take 3-4 hours of calls, I'd make between £500 and £1,000 per day, and I'd spend my evening trying Vietnamese food and doing whatever and traveling. It opened up a lot of doors for me. I've met a lot of cool people. I've done a lot of cool stuff. It's enabled me to move into a house into the countryside. We're having a baby. We're having all these things now, which I feel I'm able to do because of this skill. And it's brought me the life that I didn't think I was going to get, to be honest, the route I was on. So it's a cool place. It's just very popular at the moment because there's no barrier. But when there's no barrier, that attracts a lot of retards. And if you're not a retard, click the link in the bio, come to my group, show me they're not a retard, and I might think about getting you a job. See you on the next one.